Are all systems go? Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all, you, and you. I want you to raise up a glass. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Before we move forward, I want to do a station identification. This is High Priestess Maven. The BM8 platform is where you are at this time. So I'm raising the glass because it is our very first ever online sister circle. We've had sacred sister circles for quite some time, decades, centuries, most likely thousands of years. But tonight we get to enjoy, and I say tonight because we're celebrating the blood moon womb magic with High Priestess Maven and Rose Cross Matrix Chat. Okay, so we're gonna raise a glass, and to those who thought that they missed the live, this is the first live that we're having for the Sister Circle. I got some new digs, I got new setup, and we had to have our tech team come in and do a few things for Mama, but we got it going, and that's what's important. So now we raise a glass. This is to our, yes, all of our sisters, mothers, daughters, aunties, muddy, godmothers, and all the women of the community. We are so happy to have you. So happy to have you. And again, you did not miss the live because this is the very first live and the very first time we're going to talk about Sister Circle business on this platform. So BM8 platform to this extent, that is. So thank you for being here. I do have on lipstick, so I'm not going to do too much. It's a matte, but I put a little something on it. But since it's a sister circle, I can be down to earth. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a little sip. Mm. This is just to let y'all know. I always like to let people know what I'm sipping. This is just water, plain water with blueberries. So get your energy up this time of the month. So again, welcome all, and I feel like I might not have too many people, only because it is of the lateness that it is right now. But I just want to at least get myself going, get on record that I am here and ready and in full effect. Um, the agenda that we have going forward this time is just that we will get a chance to talk about basically all things womb magic, blood moon, womb magic in particular, because of the blood moon that folks are talking about. So this is our version, and I say our version only because it's a part of a sacred sister circle that has been around for quite some time, never been online, never been a social media platform extravaganza, if you want to put it that way. But this is something new that we're working out, and we're trying to, I guess, get enough people on board to accept it, because it has been so sacred for a very long time. Some folk don't really want us to be online talk about the things we're going to talk about. But here's the thing. I feel like as time goes on, we change up a bit and we move with the beat of the drum of the divine cosmos. And it was on my spirit to have something online so that those who would be considered up the river relatives, if you want to put it that way, can join in. And they can also have information about their own womb and how to work the womb magic. So, be that as it may, I know that it's a little uncomfortable for some people to talk about the womb online. I get it, and it makes sense. I just really want to say I am sensitive to that, but we want to pioneer something that's new, and something that's different, and something that is all inclusive. This is really what this is about. Something that will be all inclusive. And forgive me if I'm looking away. I apologize. Let me look in the camera. But see, I'm not used to being on camera doing this, so a little bitty bumpy road, just a bit. So y'all bear with me. But either way, we're not trying to be insensitive to those who are concerned with us having an online sister circle. Definitely not trying to be insensitive of that. We just want to make sure that we're moving according to what our soul guides and spirit teams have for us. Those who feel like they were like, yay, I want to do it. We want to just kind of move with that in that direction and then see where it takes us. What we're really hoping for, the goal, is for more women who did not have a chance to be a part of sister circles throughout their lifetime at any given time, that they will get a chance to see what the flavor is when we do these type of things. And then if we have up the river relatives or those who should have been in the community, the tribe, the clan, the nation, then they weren't able to be a part of it, then they will be able to now hear some things about this sacred sisterhood and motherhood and daughters and aunties and muddia and guard mothers and God. I know that people say godmothers, but we say guardian mothers, and then they end up being godmothers. So I think that for some reason I believe that might have been misinterpreted as time went on, because it's been around for so long, and it's kind of like we say godmother, like and it's kind of like an old world language kind of drawl to it, got a little southern drawl in there. So we say godmother, like guard, like on guard, like being guarded. So we have the guardian mothers who was always there to help us, when the mothers weren't around, to just basically keep our private secret and just teaching us the etiquette with privates. That's basically what that was about. So be that as it may, this particular sister circle, a social sister circle online, is going to be geared toward the blood moon, yes, but the rosy cross as well. And the rosy cross is actually a sisterhood. Um, Big ups. I can't say it without at least giving honor, and this honor to all the ones from day one who've been here supporting this platform. I say that a lot because it's just so important. And anytime I come here, I want to give that honor, most definitely to our soul guides, spirit teams, and the Most High, Mama, Papa, Divine Cosmos. Okay, so definitely want to make sure that we're acknowledging Rosy Cross right here, right now. We got our roses represented in the background here, but the Rosy Cross Sisterhood and how long they've been around, how sacred and secret and private we've had these sister circles, and within my own direct bloodline, many have transitioned as well as retired from I guess the groundwork, the boots on the ground and the boots in the air, if you want to put it that way. Either way, cosmically, many people have been able to tap in through sister circles for quite some time. They have been frowned upon, but at this point on the timeline, we're going to bring some stuff back, bringing in and bridging the gap between the old world and the new world spirituality, and then give it a try. So I just want to go into that really well and explain what it is we're doing exactly. And go ahead and get a chance to go over. Now, this is just one way we do it, and I feel the need to kind of keep it flowing in the traditional way. And just for now, and again, I want to try it out because, and I know this is something I'm used to, but I want to try this out, y'all. So we come in, of course, the one who is the one in charge at the time. We're going to go ahead and give our gavel tap. This is what the gavel looks like. It does have my name on it. So we give a gavel tap to call us to order. And from there, we discuss different topics. I want to go ahead and give an acknowledgement to the actual title that we have tonight, okay? I want to go over, before we get into any parts of what we're presenting, the title of this particular social media, okay? It's a social media event. This feels very interesting because I'm not used to this being anywhere where anyone can see it, but I'm just excited about it. But it's the Blood Moon Womb Magic with High Priestess Maven in Rose Cross Matrix chat. Okay, so this content is of a highly spiritual nature, y'all. So I want to make sure that anyone who is sensitive to highly sensitive spiritual conversations and topics that you get a chance to exit the house. Because yeah, we're going in with these topics, and it's not made for children, of course, 18 and above. Hopefully, we can get you in here. We have other versions for the young folks, the young women, because we definitely bring our daughters in when we do these type of things when it's appropriate. Okay, so it's all about the monthly moon cycles of divine feminine. It's extremely potent during this lunar eclipse, y'all. Okay, viewer discretion is advised with this because it's going to be information that's mostly for adults. But the reason why I'm saying it's potent, the monthly moon cycle is potent, is because it's a strong pull, especially with the lunar eclipse. And I know it was scheduled for the 4th, which was yesterday, today being more so the 5th, but it's still a pull going on. You might have experienced that early on. This is typical as we're going into the spring season. You'll typically see that as well. And I want to make sure I stress this, that you'll see that your cycle will, your moon time cycle is going to shift. If you were cycling monthly and your monthly moon time at the new moon, it'll shift to the full moon. And if you were cycling at the full moon, then you're going to shift to the new moon. So that's what happens this time of year. The reason it's called the blood moon is because of, well, the monthly cycle. Okay. So now some people name it different other things with the moon, and I do get it. But this is sister circle business, sister circle information. This is sacred information that has been handed down from generation to generation with the mamas and the daughters, and grandmamas as well, and aunties and women of the community. So this is the type of information that we share regarding the blood moon. And I know many might not know what the blood moon is about. Excuse me, get a little sip. Hold on. Many might not know about what the blood moon is about. Um, they just say, "Oh, it's a blood moon." But in all honesty, we've kept that secret for so long that people just say it, and we know what it's about. So the sacred secret was, okay, when we hear blood moon, we know it's about that time of year going into the spring when love is in the air. Now I got to show y'all this because I brought this out especially for my sisters. Y'all know I'm into snow globes. This is a glitter globe. It has little hearts in it. So I wanted to make sure that I was showing this as we were moving into this time. We got our love is in the air, y'all. Spring is approaching and love is in the air. And that's what we like to talk about this time of year because, it's time for fertility. It's time for, a little flirting and all that good stuff. For those who are in that particular, you know, point of interest for themselves. It depends. But we just want to be in cooperation. Just to share this, we're in cooperation of the collective at this time because in the month of March, we reflect on women of the overall society outside of our close and personal inner sacred societies. So we're in cooperation of the collective. We take the time to chime in and talk divine feminine appreciation. Okay, divine feminine appreciation, and moving forward from the comfort zones of the sister circles that are more private and familiar. I just mentioned that we branch out to the world at large. Okay, this is what this is about. With the release of the much anticipated Rose Cross Matrix Sacred Soul Revival eReader series. I, yours truly, HP Maven, would want to spark the discussion right here on the BM8 platform. Okay, so Please join us as we pioneer next levels of grace, elegance, and sacred womb magic. That's what this is about. We want to make sure that we wake up each and every one of the divine feminine womb. Um, I guess we want to call us more so a sacred group of women, not just a sacred sisterhood, but also just a sacred women of the transglobal diaspora. That's what we're doing. We're bringing in everyone. I know I talk a lot about the sister circle. I just want to let everyone know that at this point, with this going global, we want this to be more of an all-inclusive. Um, and it's not just about the womb, those who have a womb. It's also if you once had a womb, if you are on this planet and you are considered to be feminine, we look at that as divine feminine. It's not only physically, it's not just a biological thing, it is also a spiritual thing. So to make sure that if you're not physically one who has a womb, if you have that particular essence of being, that feminine essence, divine feminine essence, this is for you too. I promise you, it's for you too. So don't feel like you're left out. This is all physical and spiritual, and that's how we believe. We believe in a physical representation of self, and then also a spiritual representation of self. So please do feel welcome, right? So again, we're pioneering this next level of grace, elegance, and sacred womb magic, only because this is tradition. Now we know that the feminine in and of itself has taken on different representation, and some people might be offended to feel like, oh, I'm being pigeonholed into a certain type of characteristic. Honestly, this is more. If it's not comfortable, we do get that. We do get that. There are many of us, and actually by the thousands, millions, honestly, who want to walk in our sacred feminine divinity and that essence of femininity. So that's more so what this is geared toward. So on this first meetup, we're just kind of establishing that this is actually based on a lot of traditions from the community. So we will be moving in that direction continually. So just to let you know right from the jump, this is going to be about the traditions that we've had within our culture, within the bloodlines. Also, there's a um, sacred tradition of this within the community as well. So we uphold that continually. So we thank everyone and we welcome everyone to stop in and see what we're doing and maybe glean from what you can if you so choose to. However, what what is going to be shared within this platform moving forward is geared towards sacred femininity, is geared toward the masculine and the feminine connection, as well as the divinity of it all, and where we get we kind of merge those two thought processes together when we say masculine and divinity, and we say masculinity, and feminine and divinity, and we say femininity. So we merge that together, and we make sure that we represent that in everything we do, in all honesty. So that's the flavor. That is the flavor, y'all. Um, so, so this is the thing I want to stress here too. Um, we we used to be a closed system of spirituality, and that is of yesteryear. It was a closed system of spirituality. We do share a lot. We don't share all, but we share a lot here. And again, it's for those who we feel might have been separated from the community, separated and somewhat scattered all over this country for sure. When we talk about the U.S. and then abroad and all over the world. So we're really being sensitive to that, and we want to bring in those who are having, honestly, we're going to get a little bit more spiritual again, spiritual topics. We're reaching out to those who are now, who have to be in a position of having what I call night visions and daydreams about their bloodline and their genetic memory, as well as genetic codes. So we're hoping that we will be able to have them pick up on this information and then not feel so out there, left out. So this is what we're doing. We're bringing in these topics because there are people who are part of this particular bloodline. When we talk about familial, even and community-wise, that we want to make sure that they are getting a chance to hear these topics and then say, you know what, I just had a dream about that, or someone just brought this up to me, or I just picked up a book randomly and then they were talking about this. So we know that there is a movement going on at this point on the timeline. We know that there are many cosmic streams that are coming in because of a video I just did, the 3-Eye Atlas, and what has been going on even in late December 2025. When I had that experience, I had a visitation, right? So even in late December 2025, I had the visitation, and I know that there was a shift. There was actually a time shift, cosmic shift, galactic shift, atmospheric, spiritual. There was a shift, and so many people are now needing to get information so that they can feel whole within their own being. And that's one of the main reasons why we want to put this out here, so that people will be able to hear this and know that we are a part of that particular group of folk who are hearing the messages. Okay, so when that shift came, and I said that was mama on that shift, that 3-Eye Atlas that came into the atmosphere. And for those who are more so of the academic and the astronomical perspective of that, I do get that it's like the third intergalactic. What is it? They were on this level. Okay, so I want to go into that because for my academic folk like myself, when it has to do with astronomy, this is the third intergalactic transference of an object into our galaxy, and I do get that. I'm all astronomy as well, but this platform I talk more so astrology. Okay, so I get that, and when I wanted to clear that up because I know in my video I was really excited, and I was talking about the astrological perspective, okay, not the astronomical perspective, which is more of a scientific thought of the physical placement of objects within the galaxy. And I do get that. So I just want to make sure I put that out there for my academic, more cerebral folk who kind of go to that level and say, oh, it's 3 eyes, not the third eye. It's the the third intergalactic, this connection from outside of our galaxy. So, be that as it may. When I'm putting on this hat, y'all, I'm doing, or this tignon in this case, it's of a different flavor, a different nature. So I'm going to stick with my third eye, and the mama is on the ship, okay? So I just want to get that out there. But love y'all anyway. I love my academic folk too. And I'm glad y'all watching though. That's fun. I love it. I guess because 3-Eye Atlas was on the title, so that kind of drew a few people in that was not really on the spiritual side of it completely. But either way, that particular atmospheric transference of a object into the galaxy was able to shift some things, and some people are having some awakening moments right now. And I want to make sure that they have a place to land from a spiritual perspective, because it is of a spiritual nature, the experiences that they're having. Okay, and I don't want them to feel that they just out there. I want them to have a conversation with some folks who have been in the experience and the knowledge of the spiritual realm. We talk about natural, but then there's a supernatural. So I want to make sure that y'all know with folk out here who get it, right? That's what this is all about, who get it. So for full knowledge of our topics discussed in the channel here on the BM8 platform, you want to download the content that's within this right down there, y'all. You got a place to download for the e-reader and get more information. Okay, so we're going to talk about some things, and you'll see the Uncrossing series. It comes by way of the manuals. We call them the manuals. It's called Rose Cross Matrix Sacred Soul Revival, y'all. And as we just talked about, people are reviving in their souls. They want to come somewhere and land somewhere where they can get some information that'll help them from a spiritual perspective. Okay, so it's a whole Sacred Soul series. There's 4 manuals. There are 4 levels. They represent level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're also representing the seasons as well as the 4 suits of the everyday playing cards, and we're going to give you just a little visual of that so that you'll see what you're getting when you actually obtain your copy. And those who have obtained the copy, thank you so much. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you so much for getting on with the conversations as well, the topics that are discussed. Thank you. I just want to make sure I acknowledge you and just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And the BM8 platform thanks you, and all of our wonderful folk who are a part of the discussions and topics that come from this series. So big ups to you. Woo, ski wee. All right. So I have been in discussion with the folk with us and our sister circle and abroad as well, and those who are the sons as well, with regards to this. And we're talking about this being the uncrossing generation. Okay. What is uncrossing? We're talking about uncrossing of certain strongholds of the generationally that's been transferred generationally from what we feel is a drastic misinterpretation of ancient texts. So the uncrossing is uncrossing the mind, the body, the spirit, the soul, especially the heart, emotions. All that comes from not being able to be connected with your own spiritual essence. Okay. So this is an uncrossing ceremony. And uncrossing just means that we take away anything that is not natural when it comes to the soul level, and then we replace it with the actual connection to sacred soul. So that is done on an individual basis. It's nothing that we're doing for you on your behalf. It's what we are doing. Is what we're offering as knowledge to you, so that you'll be able to take care of these things on your own. Now, in the past, we do acknowledge that there were sacred congregations, as well as mosque, temple, even lone spiritists have been out and about going out to the highways and the hedges, we like to say, and compelling people to come and helping them to be cleansed from anything that would be unnatural that is attached to their physical body. Okay, in the way by the way of entities, energies, we call it as well. That's not natural. That might be just rogue spirits that will be mounted, housed, or riding on a person. So that's a cleansing process that has been done by others in the past. Those who would have been considered priests or priestesses, missionaries as well, evangelists come out and kind of speak to you, and then they bring you in to the fold so that you can have a priest as well work with you. Either way, a pastor. But at this point on the timeline, we feel that people are ready to kind of start delving into these experiences for themselves and working with their own personal cleansing process. We feel like there's enough information out there. People have learned a lot to do this on their own. So we feel like there's enough information out there for them to be able to process the way to cleanse the physical body. Now we're more so working on the spiritual body as well. And what that looks like is through the manuals, okay? So there is going to be within the manual, once you download your copy, you're going to see what is called a cheat sheet, okay? The cheat sheet is actually a part of the learning process, is helping with each level. And I want to put this out here that each level, it is required that you complete the levels one at a time, because you're working with that particular essence. Okay, so the essence of the mind, the essence of the heart, the essence of the courage, and the essence of reconnecting with sacred soul. Okay, or staying connected. Okay, so we understand that some people have already been able to go through these levels, but they just want to reinforce some things. So we're going to go ahead and get into sharing a bit here as it pertains to the manual, right? So I know that people have already had a chance to look into this and get their download. And again, we thank you. So let me go over, give me just a second here, because I do want to give I don't like doing much of anything without getting into a little, let me see if I got this up here. Yeah, I do. I want us to get us a little, give me a second here. I think I did not put this up here like I wanted to. I'm gonna move me over here. Give me a second. I wanted to make sure that I was gonna give us a little music. I don't like starting up without no music, y'all. Y'all know I'm into the music thing. I come up from a family of musicians. I'm a musician as well, and this is traditional. When we do our sister circles, we have to put us some music in there, y'all. So let me see if I can get this going for you. Give me just a second. Hoping I can, because there is a sacred song that goes with this live. Okay. I was pausing because it looked like it wasn't gonna do nothing for me. Come on, y'all. Y'all want to see me be great with my music. So this is a part of actually Maven Sounds. Yes, yours truly. It's called That Oracle Feeling. And there's a particular tune. Yes, this came up. Yay. Now let's see if it'll play. Because like I said, I got my new setup here. Uh-oh, we don't want that one. That one came up. We don't want that one. Here we go. There is a track on here I want to play for this evening. Not the first one. I want to play 13 Moon Magic, y'all. Okay. Our theme song. Oh. Let's see. Let's see. Excuse me. Turning down the video setting. Okay. Okay. I hope y'all heard that. I don't think it wanted us to be great on that. Hold on. It said it had some trouble with streaming. I guess I'm still going. Let me see. I did this late, so I don't have my station identification and sound check people. Let me see. I'm on my own, y'all. Let's see. Mm. Well, well, well. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, said it had some trouble, but it looks like it's still on. Okay. It looks like it's still going to me. I'm gonna keep going. Let me see. I'm not sure if y'all saw that, but okay, it's still going. I see it. They're gonna be proud of me that I was able to get this back together myself. I did it. I did it. I did it. Okay. So yeah, I didn't want us to play the music. I'm not sure if it came on, but we had y'all get a chance to go out there, and I'm gonna put the playlist. I'm gonna link it in here, but I want y'all to go out there and listen to 13 Moon Magic. That was supposed to go with this particular live, but it didn't want to see me be great on that. It's all right. It's all right, y'all. Okay, I see y'all. But thank you for your patience. Let me go ahead and put up this. I'm gonna get rid of our moon, blood moon, rosy cross artwork. Um, oh yeah. So let's pull up at least the cover here. For those who already have this, thank you so much. And I said I was going to get a chance to go over the artwork and just kind of describe the layers. And again, we're used to doing things. We, meaning the ones who are part of the sacred sisterhood. We do a lot of things secretly. Let me kind of give some more room here. Let me bring my picture up a little bit up in the corner. So, so what we were going for here is to be able to pull in, of course, Rose Cross, and then the theme that we've had for so long. Then you'll also see what is typical of the phases of the moon. And the eye here, now many people might not know this, may or may not know this, but the eye represents the I scribe with my little eye for us, again, culturally. I scribe with my little eye, the third eye, and we look into the heavenlies, as they call them, or into the sky, if you want to say that way. But you notice that sky and scry, they both rhyme. So scrying is a way to staring to stare intently at something and then get a spiritual message from it. And it could be the sky, it can be water, it can be even the ground, terrain, it could be fire. You can even look at the patterns of wind, and then also get a some type of spiritual message from it. That's what our belief is. And we want to just kind of represent that eye. When you see that eye, is not meant to be spooky, and I know people might have said that to you, but now we're opening up things and telling more, so people don't have to make up stories about us. That's one of the main hopes that we have with this, is that people can stop making up stories, and things will start to make sense and click for people when they hear the truth about it. Okay. So, but yes, the eye represents being able to scribe with the eye. It also represents the iris and individuality of that. It's so many different things it represents, but I just want to give a basic of what it represents. So, and then of course you have the moon phases. That's what you have here. So the phases of the moon again ties us back into the blood moon, ties us back into seasonally how the womb magic can be used within this particular scope of knowledge here. So the phases of the moon, there are different times of the month because we represent the womb and the magic gateway of the womb. We can use these different phases of the moon, and I know a lot of people talk about the full moon or the new moon. There are also quarter moons as well, half moons that we can get into and know the actual womb magic from that as well. So we're specifically talking about the blood moon womb magic, but there are other phases of this as well. My belief is, and we've discussed this within sacred sister circles, is that when more women once again know the aspect of the phases of the moon and how to use that and draw down that moon essence, then when more of us are on board with that once again, then we'll be able to do some shifting within the cosmic and the galactic atmosphere, and things to start to kind of shift in and of themselves. So that's our belief, and we're sticking to it. Then of course we have this is considered to be the representation of a constellation, certain star patterns within constellations. So we had to include that in there because it's very sacred, and a way to tap in as well, knowing these constellations. And we're going to get more into that. We're going to go in layers of information just because we don't want to inundate people with so much information. Of course, this knowledge to be a masteress or a master within astrology and astronomy for that matter. It takes many, many years. So we want to give basics so that people will kind of get their feet wet. And then if you want to move beyond that, then you can. But for the most part, we're going to give basics and then hope that people will be able to find enough joy in it to kind of like, have that to sustain them for now. So brief explanations, and then we kind of move on when this is more of a higher level of knowledge that has to be, shared. So we're gonna keep it basic for now. We have the roses, of course. The roses always represent the divine feminine within certain circles. We are part of the Rosy Cross Sacred Sisterhood, so we use the roses, and then roses have been used for thousands of years to represent divine feminine and their monthly cycles because of the red rose. If many will realize and recognize the rose, the red rose, is the closest semblance to the we'll just say sacred fertility elixir, the elixir that comes monthly in womb magic. It's very sacred, and there's various levels of how to use your monthly elixir. But we just keep it basic right now and say that the rose, the color of the red rose, is closest to that particular color of your monthly moon cycle elixir. So when we go a little further into this, and please do not get alarmed. The only reason why we're showing the mark of the beast, and a lot of people must know this, is that we're working on uncrossing. So in the uncrossing, we have to confront what it is that we are looking to uncross. So we have the what we call the mark of the beast, Leviathan represented as well, so that we can say, okay, this is what it is. This is what we looking to uncross. Okay, and then also you'll notice. I just want to get each one of these up for you here because these are all the 4 levels. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with Leviathan because that is the very first level, level 1. You'll notice in many of you who like my advertisement, I appreciate it when I had the video come out and it kind of shows you the movement, and we did that with AI. So big ups to the AI workshop we took back in November and all of the work that's been done through our creative director on these projects. To bring our artwork to life. We appreciate you. So you will see that each of those videos, you'll see that this particular bubble is leaving and being pushed away. So the premise is that the uncrossing is going to push away these particular entities and energies that are unnatural, that would have been attached to the soul, attached inside of the body instead of the sacred soul. We're pushing them away, and that's a form of uncrossing when you banish something that's not directly natural for you. All right, so the book 1, Leviathan, level 1, is all about uncrossing any type of unnatural entity that would have attached to, on the level of the diamond within the everyday playing cards. This will be the level of your finances and also your ability to obtain acumen in business as well. The diamond represents the 4 elementals of water, earth, wind, and fire, and we believe that that is connected with the Taurian astrological symbol, which is Taurus, is the business and commerce astrological sign. Okay, not just that, but just that's the basis of it. And then also you'll see here within the level 1 and the diamond itself of the everyday playing cards, it represents the elementals because it has the platonic solids here that's represented. So if you take this particular symbol and you split it in half, you'll have, of course, what it looks like, a pyramid. Okay, and this is sacred information, long time ancient information, but you separate this and you will get the platonic symbolism, okay, for platonic solids. So this is going to be if it's pointing upward, that's going to be air, okay. And going through the elementals, anything that's pointing upward is air and fire, and then they separate the knowledge of that with a nice little line that goes through it. And anything that goes down, of course, is going to be water and earth. Okay, so and then it's separated with the line. So we'll kind of go into that at another time. But again, we don't want to give too much information in the beginning. And then we move on down, and then we have the cross itself. Now, this is representative of a cross that would be put to use within a lot of the sacred sisterhood, where they will use these stones to represent the cross on earth, which is more so not the organized religious cross. This is more so a cosmogram. The cosmogram that will represent north, south, east, and west, also above and below and within. Okay, there was a change and a shift in this knowledge that would have been something done by certain groups to kind of like, I don't know, just kind of get into the heads of folk who were a part of these magic systems. But as I mentioned before, many things are shifting, so people are coming back into this knowledge. So we want to be the place where people can springboard with this information and move forward as we work to pioneer a different type of spirituality for such a time as this. Okay, not so much taking away from traditions, but right now we're shifting based on what is now current and most likely what we can grasp based on how far we've come within our walk and within our traditions of the community. Okay, so once again, the platonic solids are represented here, and what you'll also see, I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler, but I want to go forward with this because I think it's important. This is our symbolism of as above, so below as well. Maybe many people have gathered that from that. Leviathan is a known energy that comes to take away the natural sacred ability of the soul to connect with commerce, trade, and the ability to take your own talents and gifts and use that to bring in resources for yourself. So Leviathan has been put in place. That's a thought form that has been put in place to kind of strip the natural essence from that knowledge of tradition and of spirituality that is not organized religion. Okay, so that's our belief with that. I just kind of wanted to get back in that because I talked about above and below, and then within the cosmogram. Okay, we'll get farther into that within the manual, but this is just a way to kind of interpret the artwork of the cover. Okay, so of course that's yours truly, High Priestess Maven, and then we have represented the moth. Now I always give homework because even within the levels of priesthood and priestcraft, us as priestesses and priests, we're not given all of the answers from the one who is in charge, so to speak. We're always given some type of homework and some type of takeaways. But I want people to look up the representation of what a moth. These are a moth, and this is representation of coming forth by day. The aspect of coming forth by day and the transformation of the soul. So I'm going to give that little caveat, and then I'm going to have you guys look up moth. That's what we have here. But when you look at the transformation of soul and you compare the moth and what it means from a spiritual perspective, then you're going to see why we use that here and why you see them kind of flying, and then you're pushing away these particular, at the very top here, we have the banner. And underneath that banner, because banners are representative of being able to hold up a blood. You might hear people say the hold up the bloodstained banner. This banner is representative of victory in this case, and an overcomer of anything that would be unnatural and attaching. So itself to the physical body, okay, the body temple. So when you think of the moth and you see them within the moving artwork, the AI as they call it, and they are pushing away this particular bubble that is set there and has been for many generations for a lot of us. And we're now saying we're an uncrossing generation, so we're going to be uncrossing this particular stronghold, is how we look at it, generational stronghold. Okay, so many layers to this, Sat, thought about it, And this is really we streamed in some knowledge about it, and this is what came from it. And then underneath it, you will see that there are bricks here. Bricks has always been representative of a way to connect with from the earth as above so below. So this gives us a sound balance within the earth, but as well as the bricks represent the sound foundation, okay, that we have here, especially with the four corners. We have a foundation, and it's also representative of the pyramids, of the traditions of our culture. So we have the pyramids represented here, and as well as, I'm giving away another one here, y'all, the yellow brick road. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that, the yellow brick road. Some more homework, but we're gonna get a little bit into that, so you don't have to take it too far. But I want y'all to be able to kind of know about brick when it comes to traditions of the magic systems, particularly in the South, in the Southern U.S. Brick and how it represented the magical systems. So I just wanted to give some interpretation there, so that people can kind of glean from that. And again, this is a part of a 4 books. They represent the 4 seasons as well as the 4 suits of the everyday playing cards and the symbolism that goes along with it as we move forward in these magic systems of the bloodlines. This is tradition, y'all. So, and it's worked for a long, long, long time. Proven traditions, right? Proven traditions. So that is a level of the level 1 for the suit of diamonds. Then we also have the suit of clubs. We're not on that yet. Hold on. It came out of order for me. Hold on. Let me see. We started off with that. That's right. So this is the same thing with this. I'm going to get more into the cards here because I do have that representation here of the cards. They're not in the same order, of course. There was only so much artwork available. But this is actually the 4 suits, and it kind of is represented here as well. And we say ghost spell and not gospel. We say ghost spell because of the fact that we see it as a ghost. We see it as a way for certain entities to get within the soul. And give me just a second here, y'all. Give me a little blueberry water. But yeah, so ghost spell is like when you even think about the way that organized religion put that Holy Ghost out there, Holy Ghost spirit. So that kind of ties into it. Not to say anything is wrong with that. It depends on what your essence and energy is when you pull down those entities. But at times, if you're caught off guard and you don't know what you're doing about um, working with essence of energies, then it could, at times you can get tripped up with it. So to have just a ghost and what is it, where is it coming from? What's the origin of the ghost? Why, why was it given to me? How do I use it? That was never explained. It was just saying, okay, the Holy Ghost, that's what you need to use it, the Holy Ghost. And again, there are times when it's more than fine. And I know I can actually attest to that the Holy Ghost has brought about many of a breakthrough. But at the same time, if you're not cognizant of what it is to work with spirits in that way, then it could, there's a thin line between being in one direction or the other, and having certain unfamiliar spirits come along with it. So ghost spell is what we use as far as like explaining it, and that's the level that's on. We're going to get more into heavier topics with this, but this is just kind of like a surfacey, more of the surface level for us to get into, so that we can kind of get you a basic knowledge of what's going on with these particular ghost spell books. Okay, all 4 of them. Now we're going to get more into, now this will be the level 1, and we're going to come back to it, but I want to show you that there was a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 and 4 when it comes to the cheat sheets. Okay, so the cheat sheets come with each of these manuals and the Rose Cross Matrix series. It comes with it, and you can have your access to it once you download the e-reader, and you're able to kind of get into the materials at that time. I'm going to go through this very briefly. I'm not going to read it word for word, but you're going to see the representation of what kind of right tools that you can bring into this knowledge as you're working through it. The hands-on materials. Then also there's a special word there, which I'll come back to, It has a lot to do with the video I did about the three-eye atlas as well. That particular streaming revelation. Seals and symbols as well. Seals is a word used within the ancient text for symbolism. It means one and the same. Seals, you hear seals, it means symbols, okay? Then we go into the everyday playing cards, of course, diamonds, clubs, hearts, and spades, and then what their representation is within these levels of the Go Spell books, okay? Now, strategy and abundance is our diamonds. Primal nature, basic instincts is the clubs, feelings, and heart will be the heart, this heart suit, and the circle of life, sacred soul connection. That's going to be our spade. So we'll get more into this at a later time. Again, we're just touching base with this. And then also we have the 33 divine gifts of spirit. There will be a definition of each one of these, what it means, and how we use these particular gifts of the spirit within these practices, and how they've been used for hundreds of years, most likely thousands within the practices. Now, the next level of this, of course, we're on level 4, and I just kind of started there randomly, but we're going to have a representation of the 360-degree circle within the astrological symbolism, which is also the mathematical representation of the astrological symbols. And where does this come from? High Priestess Maven, how does it have to do with the blood moon? It has everything to do with the blood moon and womb magic, because those who do not know how this particular symbol, this 360 degrees and 30 pie charts represent the magic of the womb. Those who do not know that, I'm wondering how you're getting your magic across. I'm wondering, you get it across, but we want to have you know what you're doing, not just wishing things will happen and going about it like, oh, I'm just hoping that this time of the year. No, we're going to get you the knowledge that will help you to be able to get the experience as well with how to use a 360-degree circle within the manuals, right? So the magic is just so much more potent when you really get what's going on with it, okay? Next leg of this is going to be how to train or retrain for each of the levels when it comes to the actual suit of the cards, the everyday playing cards, okay? So you can train or retrain divine spiritual connection through the actual spades here, and the symbolism of it. We get more into that, and that goes into our granny card reading and cardomancy. Hundreds of years old, y'all, how these cards were helping our sacred mothers be able to connect with their body, their womb, and the earth itself, the womb of the earth, and the womb of every, basically every womb of creation. Okay, so we're going to get more into that. The 360-degree circle of life. Now, the circle of life, as we know, is more than just a song in cartoons and animations. It's more than that, right? This is actually a way for us to tap into our own physical bodies. And I want to actually go through the manual really briefly here. And we're going to get to a very special, give me a second here. I have one other thing to pull up here for you. I don't want to be taking too long on here, but I want to go back to the manual. And we were in this. There's one other aspect of this. Here we go. We were in the spades. I didn't get to this part with the spades, but this is level 4. But the crown, sword, and throne. This is a deeper level because the crown, sword, and throne, as it's represented through the spade, is that the spade is also seen as a sword. And now the sword, we hear a lot of the sword of the spirit, and we hear the sword of the word. The word is a sword, a double-edged sword. But what we really want to stress is that this sword there's a very fine line between what the sword does to help or hinder. So I want to get into that and show this level of it, because this can also represent the sword itself, the word with an S, the word and the sword. But the way that it's used within a lot of this, and that's why we want to be in an uncrossing culture, is because this particular sword can also be a sword to cut off knowledge and information. And that's how people perish according to the ancient text. They perish for lack of knowledge. So I want to bring that out because when we get into the fourth level and how our bodies are actually connected to the essence of each and every astrological symbol, we were only given, now get this, we were only given from the neck, okay, and the head is above when we talk about that and how it's connected to the body. But we were given like the head, the neck, which is the finances. That is the second house. We're gonna get into houses as well of the astrological symbols, which has to do with finances. Okay, this is more so spelled out within the manual, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it. And then we were also given, now get this, right across from it, which we call it it's, I don't want to go too deep into it, but this is just the divine cross of energies, right? It's an axis of energy. So we get the neck, all we got was the neck and then the private parts, which is 8, which is more so the Scorpio, and that's all we receive when we talk about astrology from the aspect of society, the overall society. But as you can see, there's a whole 12 different aspects of energies from an astrological perspective. So when I talked about cutting off knowledge within our, of course, the spades, this can also cut off the knowledge from us and our sacred soul and how our bodies are connected through the heavenlies, as they call it, through the planets and the sun, the moon, and the stars of the constellation. So we're going to get heavy off into that. We talk about it really deeply within the manuals, within especially the book 4. Not to say you should just skip right to it. You would want to go ahead and get the bundle and then take your time and go through each one. But if you have a special interest in the knowledge in each one of these, you can go ahead and get the one you feel that you're more so connected with. We definitely don't want to get in the way of you in divine connection. So we want to make sure that you leave that, we leave it up to you in your discretion. But for the most part, the knowledge with regards to the body and how it's connected through the astrological symbols is extremely helpful when you're dealing with your blood moon womb magic. Okay, really helpful. And then also just womb magic in and of itself right in here, and we're going to show you how this is connected with your actual body. Okay, now since we're on level 4 here, I'm going to start here only because I want to stress and kind of really drill down on the aspect of the sacred knowledge being cut off. When we look at this, and it gives you a corresponding body parts. All right, so the corresponding body parts of the 10th, 11th, and 12th house, which would be in that sector. Let me show you this again. Okay, this is a 360-degree circle. This is the way that it's represented within this particular chart. This chart is also spelled out. The actual complete knowledge of it is given within the manual. But this cheat sheets are here so that when you go through the manual, you'll have this kind of as a reference, okay? And you'll be able to go back and say, oh, this is this, and this makes sense because I know that this particular quarter here, we'll get into quarters as well, of the 360-degree circle. These pi pieces here are 30, 60, and 90-degree angle of the 360-degree circle, and each of the houses are represented within here. So when you see the 10th, 11th, and 12th house, that's the axis of energy that each of the astrological symbols represent. So when you get into this particular sector, we get into the houses. Now I know people talk about the chakras, and I admire that particular spiritual system. But within our traditions, we talk about the houses or the mansions. Okay, so you'll hear that in the ancient text talk, calling it a mansion. But in essence, what we have here within that particular quarter, okay, so we have the cross. I'll go back to the cross here and what this represents. Here's our cross. and this is the axis of energy, we have the north, south, east, and west. That's what this represents as well, the north, south, east, and west. Okay. This is a brief going over this, and it'll make more sense when we get into our courses. That's coming up as well. But we have north, south, east, and west. Also going that way, depending on which way you're coming from. We're looking at it. But this is the way that the cross is set up with traditional systems of magic. Okay, and this is a way that our mothers, grandmothers, aunties, sisters of the circle, daughters were taught in order to how this full circle represents all along all the year, and it represents our body and connection with our bodies. And that is how we are able to get into our sacred womb magic. This is a whole other level that has been hidden underground for quite some time because they didn't really want people to know it, and they didn't want us to share it. But now, for such a time as this, at this point on the timeline, we're going to get this information out here to folk, okay? So the body, the corresponding body parts for the 10th house, the 11th house, and the 12th house are given in the cheat sheets. Within the manuals themselves, we break it down even more with how that works within the actual north, south, east, west, and the quarters of the 360-degree circle, and having this information paired up with your own sacred gifts of the spirit, the divine gifts of the spirit. It helps you to get more in tune with your womb, and your womb is a portal. It's a gateway to be connected with the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars of the constellation. Once we get set down in that particular aspect of essence, once again, we feel that we can make this particular section of our lives, our sectors of our lives, be able to move in a more fluid state, okay, in a more fluid manner, right? So let's get more into, give me just a second here before we go to that. Let's get more into the corresponding parts here of the body. So corresponding body parts are the knees, and then also the legs and the feet. That's the very ending of the astrological circle here. It's the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then you'll see we'll start here with the 1, 2, and 3. So if you take each of these sections by 3, 1, 2, 3, that's the first quarter. Then 4, 5, 6, that's the second quarter. And then 7, 8, 9, that's the third quarter. And then, of course, this last one here, 10, 11, and 12, is the fourth quarter. I only started on the fourth because I wanted to give that drill down on that explanation about the word and the sword, okay, and how this knowledge was kind of taken from us for a while. But as it comes back, we're going to be able to be even more able to lead our own lives with the womb wellness that we need in order to shift some things in this particular atmosphere, as well as this galactic structure that we're in, especially with the mama coming in. We're in a structure now of our galactic order that we feel is chaotic, but once more mamas know how to connect with, and sisters and daughters know how to connect with their womb through the actual knowledge. We're not wishing upon a star no more. We're not wishing upon a star. We're going to wit upon a star with this information, getting and drilling down into it. This is a cheat sheet, so it doesn't break it down like the manuals do. I'm just giving you a kind of a glimpse at what you can come to know within these manuals, so that you'll be able to get your access to the spiritual knowledge that is necessary at this time, and have a full connection with the essence of all of our astrological helpers in the galaxy. Okay, there's galactic activity that's going on that can help us to be able to tune in. And as they're gearing up computers, we're going to be also human computers to work with the actual material computers that we see here. So, and then we bring in the spirit. So when you ramp it up that kind of way, you get all those elements involved. And then I'm telling you, honey, this is a time when we're going to be like none other, I believe. I know this is a lot of ancient knowledge as well, but once we tie into it, it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, it's going to really help us to get to the next level. I don't know if we have someone else who's a night owl coming up with me. I see somebody else out here. I did my little night owl thing, so I really wanted to get this information out to y'all so we can drill down this knowledge on this, of course, this sacred blood moon womb magic that's going on. So welcome whoever that is out there. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if you want to send a chat. I don't see anything in the chat. I didn't put anything in the chat as far as description, but you are definitely welcome. You don't have to come on. You don't have to say anything. Of course, it's late. Well, I'm in Central Time Zone, but I want to make sure I got this out to everyone because we have so many events coming up. Want to make sure the people got a chance to see a little bit more about what the Rose Cross Matrix is all about, helping to prepare the womb wellness for our mothers, daughters, aunties, godmothers. We call them godmothers and godmothers. So I think that word kind of got played with a little bit over the decades, but we call them our guardian mothers. So this is sacred womb wellness that we're referring to. We're talking about how we're going to connect with so many more people. We're going to start having online sister circles. These are normally closed spiritual systems. We're opening it up. We've had like a council meeting and said, you know what, there's some people out there that are distant relatives. There are distant ones who need to know this information. We want to open it up to social media circles. So no more than the sacred sister circle only. We open it up to the world now. So it's more of a global, global mission, if we can put it that way. So hopefully you will enjoy this, and hopefully you'll get a chance to share and share and share. For station identification, this is High Priestess Maven. You are on the BM8 platform. The BM8 platform is a place where we can come and discuss spiritual aspects of self, as well as how to uncross ourselves from generational strongholds that we feel have been instigated by misinformation, drastic misinformation that might have been provided to us through organized spiritual practices or organized religion, if we want to say it that way. So just to give us station identification with regards to what we're doing at this time, we're going over the Rose Cross Matrix here on the BM8 platform. Rose Cross Matrix is a series of e-readers we put together, knowledge-based, to tie us into the sacred systems of magic from my direct bloodline, as well as the ones in the community surrounding me, growing up since a child. I am a high priestess at this time. I grew up around many who were considered to be high priestesses, prophetesses, and the like, known as the Mami Wata siblings as well, the black doves, the oracles, but they are just, to us, they are just our sisters, our mothers, daughters, auntie mamas, grandmamas, as well as guard mothers, guardian mothers, and Madia as well. You name it, La Mama Dama, we call her La Madame as well. This is a series that we have out that discusses more of the Rose Cross. The Rosy Cross is the sacred sisterhood that I come through, the direct line, and it goes really deep. A lot of misinformation about the Rose Cross. You might have heard it called Rosicrucian as well. This is a way that we go into our deep magic. When you see the mark of the beast here, we are uncrossing this particular mark of the beast that we have come to know, and the way that it's crossed up, the symbolism that we use for I'm talking for decades, centuries, thousands of years. The symbolism of everyday playing cards. We call it granny card magic, granny card reading as well. Card reading, that is a traditional practice for our grandmothers, our mothers as well, and it was crossed up through this, whether it was knowingly or unknowingly, through organized religion, calling it devil cards, and that we were worshiping the devil just by practicing with everyday playing cards. Who would have thought it? But when you think about the symbolism of it, it's just a clover. We see it as a leaf budding from a tree. It's a root. It comes from roots. That's why we say we're practicing what is called root magic, or magie as the traditions have it. So either way, it's just a simple root. But because it's unknown, because we've held these closed systems of magic for so long and didn't share it, no, to its fullest extent, people just made up stuff, and we get it. Sensationalism is fun. I even like a good old story sometimes. Not even gonna kid you. I like a good old story. But, I've heard people say within certain groups that they never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Well, we never let a story get in the way of the truth. This is our traditions, and we are now opening up to the world what has been underground in sister circles for a long time, sharing what these card symbols actually mean. This represents the root. It represents a budding tree. We come through root Magick, as we call it, as well. So, this is the traditions of Southern Hoodoo and Louisiana Voodoo going forward from our practice. And we're including other systems of magic as well that have to do with anything that's natural. We're naturalists, so we also share that with the world right now. This is something new. We've never had sister circles online. It was more so in groups and done in secret quarters and even on secret land all over this planet, to be honest with you, mostly through the South. We always had a mascot. So I have a mascot. Since I'm a lone spiritist with myself here, I have a mascot that's represented. Of course, it's not live like a lot of our mascots in the past in the traditions, but it's just that I want to keep it something that is in remembrance of those who came before us. I have been deemed the leader of our group at this point in my direct bloodline, and it's up to me what the choices and decisions of how we conduct ourselves moving forward. I said the secrets have to be put behind us, many of them. I'm not telling all, but I tell a lot with regards to our traditions and and what was traditionally a closed system of practice. But now I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm in charge. The secrets got to go, a lot of them. And I feel like we're going to be connecting the dots for many people. So I just want to do a station identification. We also did tip the glass up. This is just water and blueberries, y'all. It's that time of the month. So, even when you're on your dark crystal and it's no longer the Rosy Cross helix, we like to say, for my monthly moon cycle, we still tip up a glass at that time and we have the sister circles, about letting down your hair, sharing secrets. We even braid each other's hair. We comb each other's hair. We tell stories. We have tea time as well, which they say gossip or gossip. Most of the things we did turned into something negative. They say, oh, gossip is so bad. But gossip is actually a spiritual ritual that we would use to sip tea. And then from that, we would have the roots from it, the herbs. And then we do tea reading, and where you scry into the teacup with the loose leaves in there, and you kind of give a message to each sister, and you do all kinds of different spiritual work and using the gifts. And we kind of went over that just now. Let me kind of go back into that, the cheat sheet we're using. Again, this is something that we had decided in the council that we're going to be sharing a bit more, and a lot of the sacred secrets and private practices. So we kind of got into that here, the gifts of the spirit here, the 33 divine spiritual gifts. A lot of us would be in the sister circles, and we would be able to kind of call out the spiritual gifts that we're seeing with each of the sisters. And then also having different ceremonies of those who found their gifts, especially the young daughters. So this is a multi-generational practice as well. We have our daughters there. We have the mothers, as well as those who can be considered the elders. So it's generational. So these are the 33 gifts of the spiritual gifts, and we kind of like speak about them. It's spelled out what the definitions are in the manuals. This is more so a cheat sheet. Once you go through the manuals, they're levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're geared towards specific seasons, as well as the 4 levels of the everyday playing cards, the 4 suits, which of course I talked about the clover. There's also the diamonds as well. This of course represents as above, so below. It also represents water, earth, wind, and fire. There's certain symbolism of the everyday playing card that is not known by general society, and now we're going to just open it up. This information is made available within, of course, the ghost spell books here. And we say ghost spell because we believe that it was a ghost, as they say, the Holy Ghost within organized religion, drastically misinterpreted. This ghost spirit is actually, we believe, as, I'm just going to say it, let's go ahead and tip the glass up. This is believed as the divine feminine that actually had been just kind of put away for a moment, so that folk can kind of glean her spiritual acumen and her not get the credit. So I'm just putting that out there. Within these manuals, we're now opening up to the credit. We're giving credit to where credit should be due, and that is to the divine feminine that is represented as this ghost. So in the Leviathan aspect here, we're noting that because we are actually uncrossing these particular strongholds we feel of the generations that have come before us. And at this point on the timeline, we're calling this the uncrossing generation. So we're going to be acknowledging a lot of these things that we feel were drastically misrepresented and misinterpreted, as well as, just misguidance. We're not going to sugarcoat it too much. So the representation here definitely of a lot of magical practice traditions. The Rosy Cross, of course, is again a sacred order. The Rosy Cross Sisterhood, which my direct line comes through, and many in society. There are still millions all over the world, but some of us are choosing to come out and do more social circles, as this is a sister circle online. Some of us not. We're still going into our private places and secret getaways and retreats. But at this point, I feel that there are some who I could say did not get a chance to stay within the fold, who were scattered abroad, who were transglobally transported and not given their fair due with information. And now I feel that they're waking up, and their DNA and the synapse is kind of going off. Their genetic memory is going off, and and helping them to kind of have dreams and visions, what I call night visions and daydreams, and they need some information. So I said I'm gonna put myself out here, okay? I'm gonna put myself out here, and I'm going to help some folk to kind of find their way, to beacon them back into their position, so it can make sense of what is happening to them spiritually right now. Because there are a lot of folk who have these spiritual gifts that are mentioned here on the cheat sheet, the spiritual gifts of the 33 divine spiritual gifts, and we get more into spelling out each one of these and how that comes into play with each of the sacred sisterhood members that we've had for generations, actually, uh, 10 years, decades, centuries, and on to thousands of years. This is just a breakdown from what we have in the manual. Is a very small snippet of what the manual entails, and we get into how the aspects of the actual 360-degree circle of the astrological placement of the houses is important to our very own monthly moon cycle. So I, for one, and I don't want to scare anyone, I don't really know in particular how a person could really tap in to the best of their ability of their monthly moon cycle, the moon and womb magic, without knowing the representation of all of these houses. Now, this to us within the traditions would replace what we consider to be, although we respect this other spiritual thought process and this the school of thought, we feel that the houses represent the physical body, and we place that within our own bodies and the members of the body, and how it connects with the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars of the constellation, and then also the womb center. So this is where we get our womb magic from. So us knowing and connecting with that, it's organisms that connect with it with a higher aspect of the astrological placement within the bodies. So we say the houses, okay? That's how we use it within our traditions. And this is something that another thing we want to share. And we don't mind people knowing now, because those who should get it and can get it, they gonna get it. But those who, it's not for it, and we just keep moving right along. It's just like they say, it's 8 billion stories in the naked city. So we hope that people will get a chance to move into where their tribe is. But this is how we've believed it. Again, we do respect the thought process, and there's aspects of it. The center of energy we use that would be similar to the chakra system, but we really use the houses because we allow ourselves to connect with here's corresponding body parts. For instance, the head and the face in the rising. When we talk about the first house, okay, the first house is all about the ascendant sign, and it's all about the head, or some people say the Ari, the Ori. That's where Aries is. Okay, that starts off our symbolism with the first 3 houses. So you have the head, the neck, and also through Gemini, the arms. So the like pillars, the 2 arms, and that's the first half of ourselves. And then we get more so into that's the first quarter. Then we second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So we get into this within the manual. We spell this out the sacred magic closed systems we've been practicing for definitely decades, centuries, and thousands of years. We get more so into it. This is completely spelled out within the manuals, and then this is for continued conversation. We also get into the aspect of the diamond and how that corresponds with the first quarter. That's the first, the second, and third houses here, which also correspond to the Aries, the Taurus, and Gemini. So we get into that as well. But this cheat sheet is so that we can continue the information onward. We believe the repetition is important when learning things and when actually taking things into your essence as knowledge, and especially when you're using it in order to practice, okay? Especially practicing from a womb magic. Okay? This womb magic has been used, it's tried and true with the Sacred Sisterhood and the Rosy Cross for centuries. I'm going to be honest with you, it's actually ran this government. It's also ran the spiritual systems that we know, the organized as well, the educational systems. It's on many levels. But we feel that at this time there's no more hidden information that can be given to those who are waking up their genetic memory and waking up to their the genetic codes that are kind of like helping them to see more and know more. So we want to give them the missing pieces, connect the dots, and bring together the cookie and breadcrumbs so that this makes sense to them. So this is actually things that have been held long enough, I feel. And like I said, on my watch, because I'm the one in charge in my direct line, I want to just share a little bit more for those who might have been put out there abroad and they don't know where home is necessarily. Home is where the heart is. And when we talk about home, we're talking about the sacred soul. So that's an aspect of it as well. So again, these cheat sheets, they come along with the manuals. Each manual, level 1, 2, 3, and 4 are available. You can purchase this in a bundle or you can go ahead and one at a time. But these are about to be something that will be able to change the course of the womb magic as it stands. And we believe that this is for a harmonious reason. It's not about taking over. It's not about doing any of that. People do what they want to do because they have their own way of being connected to spirit. We believe in everyone to be able to get their own brand of spirituality. We're not doing that whole you do this way and you do that way. Because the thing is, when you get into an organized religion, they're going to tell you the cookie cutter way. And that's okay. It's still working for many people. We're not here to bring down organized religion. We're here to lift up those who wants to get in touch with their own sacred divine spirituality. That's all we're here doing. We're going to give I need to go ahead and do a nice little raise the glass for that one. Whoever is interested in tapping into their own brand of spirituality is what we're doing, okay? This is what we're working with right now. We do believe that people are doing their thing and what they want to do right now anyway. So why don't we go ahead and connect with something that has been sacred and secret for hundreds of years for sure, centuries and thousands of years, okay? We want you to connect with that so that you'll be able to be as effective on your own destiny and path as possible. So walking in your purpose is what we're trying to do here. So let's go ahead and get into, give me just a moment. I'm going to pull up. I want to make sure we pull up some things here that's going to help us. That'll be just our little station identification for us. We're talking about the Blood Moon Rosy Cross. And let me get back into our, I want to go over the general purpose here once again. At the top of this live, we talked about it, but let me go ahead and get into this once again, what we're looking at. I like for people to know the purpose of what's moving forward. As I said, purpose, I want to talk about purpose. Okay, so I have it all here. So this is Blood Moon Womb Magic with High Priestess Maven in the Rose Cross Matrix chat. This content is of a highly spiritual nature, so please viewer discretion is advised. I'm not sure who joined and those who are also tuning in from our live broadcast we're doing on another platform. We thank you for listening in as well. You cannot see the visuals, but we're just kind of going over station identification now, and we're going to go ahead and give you a chance to catch up with us. Hold on, let me make sure we still got a good connection. I shifted some of our, I got a new setup here so we can do some live broadcasting. Just trying to make sure I'm staying on point with our station identification here. Give me just a second. It said my signal, it said I overloaded. Oh, I know what it is. Whenever I put up this particular graphic, because it is a video, it kind of takes some things down. There we go. I think that helped us. I believe it did. Give me just a second. If y'all still with me, bear with me. Something about these extra videos, I'm going to talk to my folk about that and see what they have to say. I'm going to take that video completely off. I put up the last video and it did that. There we go. We're back. We're back. I apologize. Those graphics aren't doing it. They're going to tell me what to do with these graphics because my graphics keep on taking off my stuff. So I am back. I'm doing pretty good because they had to leave me because they didn't want to do this late show. But I'm doing pretty good. The last time that happened and I tried to put a video up, it knocked off the connection, but I was able to put it back the last time. So I should have learned my lesson. But that was a video I was trying to do music on and stuff, y'all. So I think there's a delay. But thank you for tuning in. This is High Priestess Maven. One thing I'm good at is spiritual stuff, but when it comes to this technical stuff, I said I want to do this, so I'm into a whole new arena, y'all. Outside of my comfort zone, doing spiritual stuff is what I'm used to, but this technical stuff can be very interesting. But I like it, though. I know I'll learn it over time. I usually have them come in and help me, but it's still saying that my signal is weak. I want that excellent back that I had. Me and these videos, they'll show me what I need to do to. There we go. Excellent is back. Yes. Okay. I'm not going to do a video again, y'all. I could just do these little PowerPoint presentations, but I'm not doing a video. But here we go. We have an excellent stream. Stream is healthy. Perfect. Okay. So we won't do the video then. I was kind of going to go over some of the topics here. I might still be able to do that because I thought that was just a worksheet. Oh, I can do it. Okay, let me do it. Give me a sec. We were just kind of touching base with regards to the aspect of the way we move in womb wellness and womb magic as well. And I wanted to kind of go over the monthly moon cycles of divine feminine is extremely potent during this lunar eclipse. So I want to kind of go deeper into that and then kind of go into the aspect of, I shared a video about 3-eye atlas and hyperdimensionality and how we go between the worlds, especially through womb magic, because the womb is a portal and it's a spiral portal. So being able to go between the worlds in hyperdimensionality is something that was actually streamed to me through a 3-eye atlas, what I say visitation, right? So I had this visitation and I heard hyperdimensionality over and over again. And then it helped me to actually put together this particular visual that I'm sharing with you and what hyperdimensionality is. And not sure if you can see what is being shown within the actual visual here, but those are astrological symbols in there. This is something that kind of downloaded for me, y'all. So there are astrological symbols in there. There's also representation of platonic solids, and I kind of got into that when I talked about the diamond and the everyday playing cards. And I kind of briefly went over what's considered to be granny card reading, a very traditional magic system of the mothers that came before us. And we talked about platonic solids when it comes to the diamond, how the diamond is as above, so below, mantra that we use as well, because it kind of points upward. It looks like a pyramid as well. That gets into a lot of traditional systems, which we won't go into right now. That's higher levels. But where I'm going with this is the platonic solids are represented within this. And if you're able to see it, that's good. But here you have the above. What you see as above would be, of course, That's going to be your air and fire symbolism of the pyramid, or what we call a triangle as well. Some people call it pyramid, but it's more than just a pyramid. It's actually a geometric symbol, and which is also sacred geometry. So, but the platonic solids are the above is going to be anything to do with your air as well as your fire, and then below the diamond is represented through the triangle pointing downward, and that's going to be, of course, your earth and your water. So as you put the line through it, so we're going to go into it a little deeper because I can't really give you the visual because it's so small here. But this whole this 360-degree circle, which represents the houses, once again, our magic systems, traditional magic systems. I know people use chakra as well, and you'll even see within this symbolism I have here, that's representative of what we know to be chakra. But what we use is the houses as well. So it takes a full body picture of the houses and how that represents the connection to our bodies. So we go a little bit more into that within the manual, of course. These are part of the cheat sheet. So that's what we're kind of discussing here. But you'll see here the representation again of the quarters. It's not as spelled out as a cheat sheet, but we have Aries here. These are the 12 houses of the astrological circle. Circle of life, we call it the circle of life as well. The divine cosmic circle of life is more than just an animation and a wonderfully catchy tune and song. But this is the representation that we use within our own magical systems, which of course would be the first house is Aries as well, which we also say Ori in a lot of our traditions. Taurus would be the second, that's the feminine. We go over the actual aspects of or essence of energy as well. And this is not biological feminine, it's more so essence of energy we're referring to. And then as well as Gemini. That is going to be, of course, an air element. We talk about the elements itself. So this representation is the way we look at a full connection to spirit through the full body, as well as with what we call the heavenly bodies, the sun, the moon, the planets, and stars of the constellation. We go into this more within the actual manuals, but for the sake of this particular cheat sheet and the knowledge that we're providing, so that people can kind of get their feet a little wet with this information, we're going ahead and sharing it in this manner through the cheat sheets and a little bit of help of visual aids. So we're going to have more of this, more live, so people can chime in with questions. I want to get this one set up, even though I know it's late. I want to get this set up so it can go out there and circulate, and people can see and know what we are referring to when we talk about these closed systems of magic, or what we call Magick within the traditions, and then be able to kind of like have more discussions. This is a time when a lot of our closed systems of magic are going to be shared, because a lot of this knowledge that we've had in the past, we want to move it forward for the generations to come, as well as those who might have been separated from the knowledge, who might not have been had the chance to be a part of the sister circles as I was, and many of us have been. There are millions of us all over the world, to be honest with y'all. We've had secret circles, sister circles, for a long time. It could be secluded locations. It could be a person's home. We've been doing this for quite some time, sharing this information, but it was impressed upon us for that at this point on the timeline, some of us that is, to be able to kind of open this up to people to be able to come and glean from it, and then be able to take their knowledge to the next level, be able to get into the position where there's more within their DNA and their sacred memory that they can go ahead and connect with and hear the actual physical knowledge of this information that has gone forth for quite some time. Okay, so this particular 360-degree circle is called the circle of life within the magic systems that we use. The hyperdimensionality is the next level of it. As I mentioned, and you will see a video that I have, it's the 3-eye atlas visitation, I like to call it. Is a visitation that I had, and I heard clear as day, Mama speaking to me, waking me up in the early rise, in the early AM, and saying hyperdimensionality. And then I went into a what I like to call it a transcendental state, but it was this point of meditation where I was able to interpret this particular visual aid that I'm sharing here, and it just kind of came to me. It gave me this information. It also has a symbolism. This is something that's shown within the manual as well, but I want to give it as a visual aid within this discussion, this chat. But I was given that this information is pertaining to the hyperdimensionality, because you'll see how this kind of looks like it's warped a bit. It's talking about bending time. It's talking about going between the worlds dimensionally, physically as well as spiritually, to the place where you're even experiencing having experiences within the physical realm that are tied into the spiritual realm, and not only from this particular time period, but time periods past as well as future. That is what hyperdimensionality is. A lot of this is experienced at the crossroads. Now we also have what we this is the Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian Man. And what we're doing is we're bringing this in here so that we can show you how we see ourselves within the galactic activity that's going on, as well as the circle itself. That we see this full connection to all 12 houses within our own sacred magic systems of the tradition. And we're using this because this is a very popular symbolism. It even has a chakra represented, but with and we do respect that magic system, of course, but ours takes it to another level where we actually connect all of the 12 houses to various body parts. We see ourselves spread eagle within the atmosphere of the cosmic dimensions, as well as the galactic activity that goes on around us, of the sun, the moon, the planets and stars of the constellation. So we see ourselves as the Vitruvian Man is here. There's also a Vitruvian woman I've seen as well, but this is one that's common. That's why I'm using it. And I'm just showing it here how we see ourselves as the day goes on from hour to hour, and we're able to place ourselves within the center of the galactic activity that's going on around us. And we see ourselves with our head, our hands, our feet, deeply connected within this atmospheric connection of the spirit itself, as well as the physical aspect. So we say physical and spiritual is how we look at this. So when you get into this more so and deeply within the manuals, within the ghost spells of books 1, 2, 3, and 4, it gives more of a breakdown with how these quarters, we call them quarters, which represents the spring in the first through the third houses, the summer within the fourth through the sixth houses, the fall autumn season within the seventh through the ninth houses, and of course the winter season 10th, 11th, and 12th houses, with the completion of the full 360 degrees, each of a 90-degree angle, 4 90-degree angles spread at 30 degrees each, and then that will give us our full circle. So we put this within our body as well as the cosmic divine cosmos. We call it the circle of life. There's much more, of course, spelled out within the manuals that you will be able to get a better knowledge of this. But we also place ourselves in the position of providing the knowledge here. We're on the BM8 platform moving forward so that we can get people connected to what we've known for so long and what we've practiced through closed systems of tradition. And now we're bringing it out to the world to make sure that anyone who might have missed this, who might not have been able to be guarded within the sacred circles, with the guardian mothers, the guard mothers as we call them. Some people say godmother. The word has been kind of like stepped on a bit through the centuries. But either way, be that as it may, we've been able to share this for quite some time, and now we want to bring this out to the world so that everybody can have a chance to kind of tap into those who know this information. So you see yourself as this particular Leonardo da Vinci picture. This is what this meant and means. They use it in artwork as well, but this is what we see ourselves as. We're sitting within the seat of the circle of life here. Okay, so kind of moving it on here. Let me just put this over here. We're going to move it on to another aspect of this, and this is just the second level of this, and then we're going to wrap it up. We just want to make sure enough information is out here for our people to be able to kind of catch up. Now, you don't always have to use, of course, this particular symbolism. I actually, and what I recommend is that people use their own symbolism. I have my picture here. I will many times put my picture inside of this and into the circle of life. And this is actually on our website. This is the, I want to explain this first. This is the scribe navigation wheel. As we say, we scribe with our little eye, which is our third eye within the center of our forehead. So we scribe with our little eye, and we use this to chart our course. It could be an hourly thing where you put your symbolism within there, the astrological symbolism. It could be a daily thing. It could also be your birth chart. This is very sacred to me because this is the actual wheel that I learned to master astrology and astronomy on. So it's a rep. Of course, it's not the same one, but it's the, I had to describe it to the artists, and they were able to put it together for me. But this is something that we would have used back in old school. We used the physical hands to write out this information. So it's very sacred to me because it's kind of, this is very nostalgic. But it's called the Scribe Navigation Wheel, and you can use this. You can print this out. Actually, it's available for download at BibleMagick8.com and on our website there, as well as on with, just within circles, some of our circles. I'm just saying that on the side. But for those who are out there just in social media land, you will be able to actually obtain this just for the sake of practicing. It is another learning aid. It's called the Scribe Navigational Wheel. It's a reference sheet A, and you're able to download that from BibleMagick8.com, and just again get your practice on as we move through the chats. And then of course it's helpful for your, if you have a birth chart, if you have that already, someone has able to put that together and delineate that for you, or chart it for you, then you will be able to use this to kind of place your symbols, because astrology can be used at any time. It can be used hourly, as I mentioned. It can be daily. It doesn't always have to be just a birth chart. That's just sacred information to share so that you'll know that this particular scribe navigation wheel can help you as you chart your course. Took the liberty to go ahead and stick some of our the symbolism in here, since we are in what's considered to be the Aquarian age. I have the Aquarian symbolism for the astrological symbol for Aquarius, and this is just a way to kind of chart some things. I didn't put them all in here. We will have some additional learning time for charting, but at this point, we're just going to just use this for the sake of opening up people to this information. So as I was, before I kind of plugged that in there, talked about the scribe navigation wheel. As I was saying, you can actually take your own art. I just took a picture of myself and stuck it in here as far as like when I want to do delineations. I also, what I will use this for too is being able to put in my daily chart, and then just kind of like place myself within it at certain times, and then just kind of like scry and just meditate. I go into like a center of the womb, and I kind of like feed into that knowledge and information, and journal a lot as well. And it's more so about the sacred soul connection with all that was, is, and is to come. Of course, I call them Mama, Papa, Cosmos spirits as well, and that's all just an extension of self. So I tap into my 360-degree knowledge. That's why knowing these particular symbolism, how it, not worshiping them, but how it pertains to your own persona, your own characteristics, how you can enhance you as well as help you in your daily connection to physical as well as spiritual. What you must do in your task. Each of these is spelled out within the manuals of how each of the 30-degree angles, the slices of the overall circle, has to do with aspects of business, aspects of love, life, all of the above. So the whole circle of life, we believe that there's a circle of life that happens for us on a daily basis, and we're able to tap into that as we come forth by day. We come forth by day on a daily basis, right? When the sun comes up in the east, and then we get into our Aries, that is the head. As we mentioned, the body. We mentioned the body and the whole connection to the sun, the moon, the planets and stars of the constellation. So this is the way that we do this on a daily basis. Once we get our connection where the sun, the moon is in the placement of our daily charting of our course, then we can kind of place ourselves within it, and then we connect with that. We connect with it. We see ourselves spread out eagle as well, and we say, okay, I am in my first house right now. I'm in my second house. Even down to the second, we can do it, but that's more of advanced. But now, if you just want to start with your symbolism, like I mentioned here, when we have the symbolism of the Aquarius symbolism. Just place it. Let's say Aquarius was here. You can draw this out as well. You can print these out again. This is available on BibleMagick8.com, the Scribe Navigation Wheel. You could actually draw these in. I even have labels that I'll draw and I'll use it. If you're somewhere and you can't really get to your computer, I have these labels that I just kind of draw my astrological symbol in for that particular hour or time that I want to measure and I want to concentrate and focus on, so I can also remember. I'll draw it in and then I'll go, for instance, if I'm going on a hike or if I'm going on a retreat somewhere, then I'll have my symbolism all written out. I just pull it out of my journal and I just look at it and say, okay, I'm in my second house and this is going on right now. And second house represents fortune and finance and, you know, abundance. And I'm going to put this in Aquarius in there. That means that there's a flow of that coming to it. So I have the symbolism already. So all I have to do is just go ahead and picture myself wherever I am at that particular point of the day. So this is stuff we get into within the manual. Let me give me a sip. Hopefully this makes sense. Excuse me. Doing a lot of talking. Hold on. I need another sip. Okay, bear with me. This information, I love this information. I can talk about this forever, actually. And this is what the sister circles used to be about. We would just sit and talk and talk and talk. Sometimes we'll be retreats for a day or maybe a couple of hours, or it can be a week, or it depends. So this is what we do. This is what our magic systems have been about for a long, long time. This is how we've connected to womb magic, and we're sharing it with the world right now. It happens to be one of the most potent moons of this particular year, as well as quite some time. You know, I won't get into that too deeply, but this is a very potent moon because it is considered to be the blood moon, which is a yearly connection to our own sacred feminine womb magic, as well as the monthly moon cycle. When we come to the blood moon, as they call it, we're having a changing of cycle as we move into the spring season. Okay, so this is about the spring season, which is about fertility. It's about the earth waking up once again. So the womb of the earth is waking up, as well as the womb of the mother. Those who are still able to have babies and those who are not. If you just want to wake up into your own abundance through the womb is actually a portal, is what we believe. That's our closed system of spirituality. We've always believed that the womb is a portal. It's a spiral portal, and you can still pull into that connection with the sun, the moon, and the stars, planets as well. And then you can pull in abundance through that. You can pull in knowledge, wisdom. You can pull in different things through that spiral within the womb. So the blood moon in particular is when, if you're still within your rosy cross, so to speak, with your elixir that comes monthly, then you will be able to switch from, if you were your monthly moon cycle was at the full moon, it'll change over to the new moon. Okay, during the blood moon cycle. Okay, so if your monthly moon time was at the new moon, it's going to change over to the full moon. When we come into the blood moon, that is bringing us into the first quarter, which is the spring season of the year. Okay, and if we see here, that's the east. The east is the rising. It goes that way, but when we count the actual houses of this is a tidbit of information. This is a little spoiler here, so to speak. But within the manual, we get into how the east to the north, that's the first, second, and third houses. Houses actually go counterclockwise, and they're stationary. These are stations of life, okay, and within the cycles of life. But the actual astrological signs, they are moving, and they will go from they're going to go counterclockwise and from the east all the way through south, west, and north. So we get more into that in the manual. Okay. So we have talked a bit much here about the symbolism. I'm going to go ahead and bid you all adieu until next time. I am so happy to be sharing this information. And please do get a chance to get your copy of the manual. There's 4 again, the first, second, and third, fourth. ghost spells, as they're called, and we do believe that the ghost spell is the hidden feminine within the organized religious structure for years and years and years. Now we get into sharing the sacred secrets of which we had to go underground to keep the knowledge of kind of flowing. And now we're back with that information here in a social media setting on the platform, BM8 platform, so that people can glean from it. We know that people are finding that their genetic codes are sparking them, and their RNA and DNA is basically prompting them to get more information about their night visions and daydreams, I like to say, and that's coming into them at this time. So what we want to do is be this place of a resting place for them to come in and learn quite a bit of things about this ancient knowledge that was once hidden and cloaked. It's not sharing all of it, but it's sharing a lot so that the people can connect the dots, breadcrumbs, bring in those different breadcrumbs as well as cookie crumbs that they can get to piece together knowledge that's been sparsely put out there for them. As time goes on, we're going to be able to share as much as possible so that we can have people to wake up to their DNA and RNA. That's the genetic memories as well as genetic codes that are kind of like sparking them to find out more information about self. Because we believe that there has been a vast bit of drastic information or misinformation, rather, drastically placed out there, whether it was knowingly or unknowingly. We were able to find out that a lot of the misinterpretations actually been detrimental to the generations of the past, now, and then in the future. For sure, we want to make sure that they have the right information. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. I want to give that plug about the Scribe navigation wheel. You can go ahead and get your own copy of this. You can download it and then work with it. Again, it's a good travel partner. This is going to help you to chart your course. I don't have all the symbolism. I only use the Aquarius symbolism because we are considered to be in the Aquarian age. So this is a way to do this online, but also you can print it out and then you can write these in. Travel companion is really good if you're going on retreats, if you're going on hikes like I like to do a lot of times. I'll have my Scribe navigation wheel with me with all of my astrological symbols for that day charted out so I can know at different times of the year. You can even do this, I'm sorry, of the day rather, the hours. You can do this hourly where your Aquarius is going to be and how it's going to be placed within maybe even the 8th house or the 9th house, and what that energy is of that time, and kind of glean from that. Ancient tips and magical practices from long time ago. The mothers have shared this for sure with us. So we thank our mascot. We don't have mascots like we used to in the back of the day. We would have actual animals walking around, but this is the close I can get within close quarters. We also want to share this. I love snow globes and glitter globes, and I just want to share this for going into the spring season. We want to tap into the love frequency. Tap into the love frequency. Because it's going into spring and love is in the air, honey, I like to say. So make sure that we are tapping into that. It's a high frequency. We're going into abundance. Fertility is definitely an abundance energy. Tapping into that, knowing where your placements are as well, would be very helpful. There's another aspect of this with again, is the hyperdimensionality. I talked about that briefly, but what I want to do is just say that on our next chat, we're going to go into this. I like to always set up the next chat where we're going to be talking our talking points. Definitely going to be going into hyperdimensionality. We're also going to, in the circle of life, as well as we're going to get into and give you a sneak peek, the Wiz, and how what that has to do with the quarters of the divine cosmic circle of life. Okay, so that's a little bit of a tidbit I'm gonna give. I'm not gonna give it all because we're gonna have this on the next one. So sending y'all off with love, joy, bliss, along with a kiss. This is the perfect time of year to start this knowledge. Just want to send that heartfelt love out to y'all, and thank you so much for being a part of this this pioneering of a new time, a new point on the timeline. Talking about our moon cycle online. Oh, unheard of. traditionally. This is something that usually was supposed to be behind closed doors or within certain settings on the cruise ship, the ferry. It didn't matter as long as it was just the sisters around, the mamas and the aunties and the muddias and the la madamas. But at this point, we feel that it's a pure victory to keep certain information secret and private when we really need a lot of our divine wombs to walk in the magic and flow in the magic and the spiral of the magic that is necessary right now to kind of bring some more harmony and some to kind of like quench out allow out a lot of the chaos. We do believe in chaos magic when it's necessary, but if it's too much, if it gets too out of balance and the harmony's not there, then we want to just take whatever measure we can to bring us on back home and give us the information that we need to move forward within blood moon. Now, this is the blood moon womb magic, but womb magic can be 24/7, 365. And we're going to get more into that as we talk more about the seasons as well. So I like to always set folk up for the next chat and what we're going to be getting into. Remember, the scribe navigation wheel is available if you want to chart that for yourself. Go ahead and get that off of BibleMagic8.com, as well as, of course, the 4 Rose Cross Matrix Sacred Soul Revival. Okay, e-readers. You can just download them, have them available. This is, of course, when we see Mark of the Beast, Leviathan, don't run off, y'all. This is a way to banish those energies. That's what we're working on. This is the uncrossing culture. We're saying this is the uncrossing culture. And what we're doing is we're taking this away. This is going to be gone. We're going to use our north, south, east, and west moon magic to take away these type of strongholds, generational strongholds. We're going to hold up our banner of victory as we walk forward in the real matrix, which is the real matrix is the womb of all creation, whether it be within our own bodies, whether it's a physical womb or not, it's a spiritual womb, it doesn't matter, and the womb of the earth, and as well as all wombs of creation. We're going to connect that right now. It's so necessary to connect us with the galactic activity that's going on and the changes that can come when we work together in womb magic. Okay, all the best to you in progress, my folk. We're going to sign out. This is High Priestess Maven, and I hope to see you on the next live chat. Take care.